Okay everyone, this is going to be a brief overview of the shell that we've provided you and how you can personalize it and make a few decisions as we get started. Please keep in mind that we will be giving you a live tutorial and PD in the next week, and then we'll also record that and post it down below. But just a brief overview, let's get started. So your main home page, we've given you a weekly agenda. It will be nice and easy for you to link within the Canvas course to each of these individual lessons. We've just given you an idea here, so please feel free to delete. If you don't have a science lesson that day, go ahead and delete it. We just wanted you to see the possibilities. Down below, each of these buttons link to an actual reading overview homepage. It is not populated at this point, but your navigation buttons for this page will take you back to the main welcome homepage. So each of these first individual pages all have that same navigation. If the students were to go previous or next, it's going to move them through that individual module, which I will show you in a minute. So each of those pages are created and linked and should work to start with. We also have additional pages like Meet the Teacher, weekly newsletter, etc. Again, all of these home buttons for students will bring them back to the main welcome page. Now, one decision you will have to make as we get started is within this weekly agenda. So if your workflow is to create and leave this weekly agenda here on the main page, what you will do is for the week, you will go through and type out what the students are going to do each day and link within the Canvas course to that lesson or activity. When you are done, let's say it's Sunday for week 2, you're going to, before you delete this, you will copy and paste and bring it down here to the previous weekly agenda, because you never quite know, you might have a student that needs to access last week's assignments. So you will paste it here. Now you'll notice this page is already quite big because we've put week 1 on here to show you that this is where it goes. So you can imagine that week 2 will go down here, then week 3 will be after it, and this page will get quite lengthy. So at some point you will need to make a decision about when you're going to release this page from access for the students and create a new one. So that could be every month or so you decide to create a new previous weekly agenda page. There's a couple of ways that you can do that, and you'll need to make sure that you go in and link back through so that it is attached to the home page for the kids to be able to find it. So one way for you to do that is to go into modules over here on the left-hand side. Now, the previous weekly agendas is here under the elementary additional pages. So you could potentially create a duplicate of this page, remove this one or unpublish this one from the original design so that the students aren't constantly going through each of them. So if you unpublish it, then that means they don't have access to it. But then you'll have to remember to go back to the main home page, and you'll have to remember to relink this to your new weekly agenda every month or so. Again, you need to make that decision when you might decide to make a new page. Now, if you decide you do not like this option and you don't want to have a weekly agenda here on the home page, then your other choice is to go into the Canvas calendar and to create a daily agenda as you see here. So if I click that for the students, it will then show them this is where their reading lesson is, writing lesson, math, etc. I've only linked one, but you get the idea. So for each day, the students would have a daily agenda, click here, that would then link them to the course and tell them where to go or what to do. So the direct instruction from you in the classroom would either be, hey kids, let's go into Canvas calendar and click on the daily agenda, or it would be, kids, let's go into the weekly homepage. Hey kids, let's go into Canvas, and then they'd click on the day's agenda item. So we've given you those two choices, and if you do in fact decide to use the Canvas calendar, well then you would just delete this off of your home main page, and then probably also delete this button down here because the kids no longer need access to it. Now, once you get into these individual pages, like for instance, if I were to click on writing, You're going to be able to start to import content from the Commons. So for example, we're going to show you guys how to import this writing unit. We've been working on creating the writing unit for you. And we're eventually imagining that your writing homepage, reading homepage, science homepage will have content on it. In our example here, we've got your writing for Unit 1 ready to go. So on the unit overview, we're going to be putting in content there that shows both parents and students, hey, this is what we're going to be doing for this unit. We're going to be writing a personal narrative, and at the end of Bend 1, you'll have this. At the end of Bend 2, you'll have this, etc. So just a brief overview of what is happening during that unit. And then if I'm a student, this is a page that I might use regularly to jump into the sessions and activities that I have throughout the day. So let's just dive into session 1, and we see that session 1 then has a video and it tells me what I'm going to be learning for the day. Now this home button does not take me back to the main home welcome page. It actually is going to take me back to my writing home page. So then it becomes pretty easy for me as a student to navigate. If I'm like, oh, I remember that video from session 1 and it was really helpful, then it becomes easy for me to quickly navigate. Otherwise, I might be, for instance, in lesson 14 and remember that this video was really helpful. And then I'd have to click down here at the bottom. Because it's built in a module, teacher or students will then have, as well as teachers, have the ability to click next and previous. But let's say I literally am in session 14 and I want to get back to the video that was in session 1. I'd have to click this button upwards of 15 to 30 times to get back to that specific session. So in this instance, providing that home button is going to allow them to kind of stay within the subject or mode of writing and get back and forth through different activities. However, this button does in fact take them back to the welcome homepage. That is basically a lot of things for you to kind of think about. Last little bit, we did also provide you within the modules a teacher kit of information. So that is likely where you're watching this video right now because it's here on the course overview. But in the teacher resources that are unpublished, I have given you access to our Google Slides where we built all of the banners, dividers, and buttons for this course. They are view-only mode, so what you'll have to do is go ahead and make a copy of the Google slide, and then you can edit and create to your heart's content any banners, dividers, or buttons that you want and add more customization to this particular resource. Okay, that's everything for right now. We look forward to seeing you in some of our professional developments coming up, and please let Carrie Kunert, myself, Nicole Carter, or Chris Giles know if you have any questions as you start creating your Canvas course. Thank you.